Hello everyone, it's Mike from Chess Lifestyle, and today we're going to try and train a total of 67 minutes of Woodpecker. So, I have a new video on its way. I still need to edit it. Basically, it was me rambling about my recent tournament with Cheadle Congress. God, I made the same mistake in that video too. But as the title suggests, I've called the title something like reaching a calculation mind break, I would call it. But I think like a twig kind of snapped in my brain during this tournament. And it's debatable whether it's a good or bad thing. I mean, from a chess perspective, it's definitely a good thing. But I basically realized how much more I need to calculate during my games if I want to actually reach newer heights. And I feel like it's kind of feels like it's unlocked some untapped potential. Exciting to see how far it can go. So basically, I've got the Fonciel this weekend actually, so it's a perfect opportunity to actually properly exert myself and see how hard I can push myself in the game. Because basically, when I play classical chess, I in various states and very often, even if I'm not in a functional headspace, it doesn't really bother me. But now it does. For a very quick update, I mean, you'll hear it more, I guess, in the ramble. Although I don't really go specifically into results so much. But basically, I had four draws to begin the event, even though, two of them I had missed wins, two of them I didn't have any missed wins. But in all four of the games, I basically didn't make any mistakes or blunders, which is kind of like the story of this past month. Like, I've been very, very consistent and solid. Which I think is through a mixture of experience and the systems I'm playing, and maybe multiple factors. But I'm really determined to get more of those missed wins converted. And the final day, I mean, I won't go into it here. You can wait for tomorrow or whenever I edit the video for you to see that. But yeah, basically, I had a real roller coaster two roller coasters of games, and I'm determined to calculate. So I think that's what I'm trying to say, and I want to push myself. So let's do some Woodpecker. One of the other conclusions you'll hear in the ramble is that I feel like the calculation method I do in training isn't always replicated in the game. And I want it to be more replicated. So I think when I finish these Woodpecker exercises, a serious consideration of mine will be to play, training games, like long, rapid training games against strong players. And I'll try and seek them out or something. And then maybe the streams, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, will even be me in these matches. And the focus will be on, can I really exert myself calculation-wise? And just get practice of actually calculating heavy in a game, because I don't calculate anywhere near enough that I need to at this level. And I think if I manage this, we're going to see a big growth. So mark today in your diaries, 6th of February 2026. This is an internal revolution. Let's put it that way. So exciting times ahead. Welcome Gloin, welcome Josh. Let's solve some Woodpecker. Right, so black to play, Khaliefman to lose. We've got queen, rook, knight, knight, bishop, bishop, 1, 2, 3 pawns against queen, rook, knight, knight, bishop, bishop, 1, 2, 3 pawns. Pawn structure is slightly different with the b6 pawn and the a2 pawns. King safety wise, both kings have no pawns as shelter. There's tension on the board, like on the knights, on e6 and c6. There's tension on the bishop on f3. Yeah, and also then there's some x-rays, right? Like the queen is x-raying to this bishop. Maybe x-raying to the square, x-raying to this bishop, x-raying to back rank. And then loose pieces, h6 bishop is loose, rook is loose, rook is loose. Okay, so does this exercise ring a bell actually? Yes, this does ring a bell. I did this one at the weekend actually. So for some reason it must have not saved when I did it on my phone. But yeah, at this moment I started looking at my checks, captures, and threats, and I remember that yeah, there are no checks. Oh no, there are checks. There's h4 and f4, but they don't lead anywhere. And I spent the whole time calculating this like rook takes f3, and I was trying to make this work with some discovery, but basically I tunnel visioned and I didn't consider all of my candidates. So if I were to look at all my candidates, I got knight h4, knight f4. All of my captures, I got rook f3, knight e4, knight d5, bishop e6, bishop c6, queen e6, and threats. I don't know, maybe some bishop move in, some knight move in. That's probably it. Also, this is a capture. And basically, had I been a bit more methodical, I would have found a better way to enter this rook takes f3 line, and that is just to play knight takes d5. And let me see if I can calculate it now. I remember it was the move, so if pawn takes, then we just go queen takes, and we win. So I guess they should move that bishop. But we're also threatening knight e3. And if knight takes d5 and they take on h6, well then we just take on f3, and this is surely winning. Like, any safe squares comes with another check, so... I mean, maybe we should calculate just to be sure, because there is like a mate threat on g7, so let's just be sure. Knight e4, queen h6, queen f3. If king g8, queen g3... To be fair, king g1, queen g3, there's rook g2. Queen e1, king h2. Yeah, not too sure there actually. Knight e4, queen h6. Queen f3, king g1. Queen g3, rook g2. What other checks do I have? Maybe queen e3? Queen e3 to trade queens. And are we up material there? I'm not so sure we are, because after queen e3, queen takes e3, knight takes e3. We hit the rook, but then rook can take on g6. So this is not clear to me at all. Knight e4, queen h6. Queen f3, king g1. There's nothing better than queen g3, rook g2. Maybe queen e1, king h2. And maybe I can do something here. I'm realizing it's still so hard. Still so hard to calculate. Like, I really want to be better, but it's so difficult. Like, I really have some crazy willpower right now, but at the end of the day, if you can't see the move, you can't see the move. Hold on. What about knight d5, queen h6, queen f3, king g1, queen d1? Queen d1. And basically, if the king moves, then we can actually take c2 with check. That looks extremely promising. That's surely winning. And on, yeah, knight e4, queen h6, queen f3, king g1, queen d1. If the bishop blocks, then I just presume queen takes check. King g2 or king h2. If king g2, the knight can always join the attack, which looks very deadly. If king h2, then maybe we've got queen g3 check, king h1 is forced. At least the queen now protects the knight. And at the very least, I could go queen h3, where there's no rook h2 because of queen f1. And if the king moves, then I can take the queen, and if they trade queens, then we've traded queens, and we're up a piece. So I think that works. Let me double check. Maybe let me check these lines. So, rook f2. I did not consider that. Yeah, this was why I tried last time. So rook f2. Yeah, ed5 obviously queen f3. It doesn't even give queen takes h6 as a line, which feels somewhat critical. Queen takes h6, queen takes f3, if king g1. And I didn't even look at king h2. I really need to get into a better habit of double checking all my opponent's candidates. But yeah, queen d1 is the top move. Nice. Yeah, this is what I said actually with queen g3, and I said after king h1, queen h3 at the very least. Nice. Beautiful stuff. Yeah, I'm kind of curious why this is still -2 though. This trade, because I thought at the end of this they take with check and they win back their piece, which is the case. But now the pawn is gone, the knight is loose. Yeah, and after king f7, there's too much hanging, right? So actually, I think at the start of the exercise, maybe I didn't consider the piece tension like enough. Like I was kind of going through the motions but not really absorbing it. So like this, for instance, is a potential miss. Okay, very nice. These positions I found so hard because they're so concrete. Yeah. But what I'm finding is like in even my games in these tournaments, the positions are also very concrete, and I just need to be stronger at this, and I need to exert myself more. So yeah, we're in for a ride. We're in for a ride. We gotta increase this resistance. I wonder if there's an equivalent of like brain injury that you can have from intensive brain training, like a bit like how some people who start like HIIT training like just get injured in a very severe way because it's just too intense. But I want to really push myself. I really want to. Okay, we've got queen, 2 rooks, 2 knights, 2 bishops. Queen, 2 rooks, 2 knights, 2 bishops. 6 pawns against 6 pawns. We have an isolated pawn. King safety, our pieces are lined up against our king a bit better. Khalifman to win. Piece tension between the bishops. I guess that's about it. X-rays, maybe tension towards the pawn. Oh, there's also tension on this pawn. Should not be missed. There's also potential for this check, which we'll come to. This diagonal is controlled. Knights defending each other. Okay. Tension between the bishops too, if I didn't mention that already. Focus. Right, so were there any more X-rays to consider? Not really. And loose pieces. One loose piece. Okay, fine. Then checks, captures, threats. Got knight f3, got knight g4, got the other knight g4, got queen h3. What about captures? Got bishop g2, bishop c2. What about threats? Not too sure. Fine, so let's begin with our checks then. So if knight f3, and they just take it, I feel like we haven't gained anything. This square is controlled twice, that's the issue. Like, it's hard to, like, distract the pieces. Like, bishop takes... No. I wish it was queen sack, but I don't think it is. Knight g4. Just pawn takes, other knight to g4, king g1. Don't see it. Okay, maybe it's... And the other knight doesn't make a difference. So maybe it's not a check. Let's look at our captures. So what about bishop g2? If bishop g2, king g2. Yeah, again, not sure. Queen h3 in the starting position? That's also a check, so I already considered that. Don't know why. It really appeals to me, even though it's just bad. And then we didn't even have any threats, so we're literally out of moves here. I mean, bishop here could potentially distract this knight, but like the knight wasn't even that useful in the defense anyway. I don't even see a way to like lift the queen in, like after knight g4, pawn g4, knight g4, and then try and queen f5, queen h5 type shit. I don't know. I don't really see what's so weak about white's position that should warrant some combination here. Like, if this knight wasn't here, then maybe something like this would actually work. But with the knight here, it just doesn't work. I mean, maybe this knight g4. If pawn takes, maybe queen takes, and we had another attacker to try and enter this square. But even if we get like knight f3, I mean, we just take. I mean, like, it's not enough. We need more. So how do we bring in more? Unless the bishop's going to come back in some way? I'm gonna get this wrong. I don't see it at all. Wait, I didn't even consider this capture. Does that do something? Bishop c2, queen c2? I don't think it does anything. I didn't even see it, which is annoying. I'm extremely sleep deprived. I had a morning lesson and went to bed way too late, just catching up on a lot of stuff. Excuses coming in. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. Just calculate, goddammit. Like, knight fg4, pawn g4, knight g4, king g1. I'm starting to see maybe there's some connection with like this rook being loose at the end somehow. I mean, this bishop being loose somehow. Like, if we could provoke this and win this or something, but it feels too difficult. Not finding the move. Very frustrating. Oh, come on. Find. I think my best bet would have to be knight fg4. But I don't believe it. Oh. Could be the other knight. I really don't know. I really don't know what I've missed in this exercise. It's not going to be this, but... Okay, it says alternative somehow. I didn't even see how it even remotely works. So I guess it's the other knight. And there's just a big enough attack here, king g1. What am I missing? Like, this queen is so clunky to find its way in. I don't see it. Knight g4, pawn g4, knight g4, king g1. Like, literally, what's the point? Unless it's like not. But then why would it be an alternative if you can take another way? Maybe queen takes is just threatening like queen h5 or something. Yeah, maybe that's actually good, and maybe that's the point of this knight. Also, this is like a big threat. So maybe that's the threat, not to take back with the knight, but with the queen, to threaten queen h5. And what happens if they just go king g1 anyway? They just run away. Still can't go knight f3. Not really. G1. Don't see it. Don't see it. What about knight check, pawn takes, queen takes with king g1? I will take king takes. I thought I saw something here. Yeah, I saw if queen e4 check and they block f3, I can pick up the free bishop. So they have to go back king g1. Do we have something there? Not really. I mean, knight f3 just knight takes, queen takes, and there's nothing. I mean, I don't even remember which knight I started with. I think I started with this one, so it's probably this one. But I didn't see. Oh well, was it the other one? Okay, I don't see the logic. Must be queen takes here. I just feels like there's so many moves. Like after queen takes, even like a move like knight f4 looks fine. Let me turn on the heater. I don't see it. Knight g4, king g1. Oh, wait. Knight g4, king g1, bishop g2, king g2, rook e3. Pawn e3, and there's a fork. God damn it. I see. Wow, that was really tough for me to find. But now it's there, it's all so clear. I don't know how I can improve on that. I guess it's just gonna be a lot of long practice, but yeah, knight g4. And then just bishop g2. Yeah. I mean, I know counter checks to worry about, so... Okay. Let me see what people are saying. I don't think I slept enough last night to do chess puzzles at 10 p.m. Let me 1v1 you, Josh. Sleep schedules. I went to bed like 4:15, and I woke up at like 8 a.m. And this is coming off like my Cheadle Congress. Like it's just been rough. It's been rough. But I just had so much to catch up on, so many notes to make about the tournament. Like, you know, like I'm looking forward to sleeping after this stream. Trust me. I really am. Concrete positions are my strongest, yet least favorite type of position. That's so interesting, Faz. Like, when your strengths don't align with your interests. And what I'm realizing is also, like, when the game importance, like, the aspect of the games, the aspect of the game that's important doesn't align with your interests or your strengths. Like, you still need to, like, kind of prioritize it, right? Watching this while having literally to clean my computer's motherboard from an entire cup of coffee spilling on it. Yikes. Good luck with saving the lost position, Iche. Hopefully it's just a slight disadvantage that you can recover. Faz says, but I'm curious as to whether it makes a difference which knight to plant on g4, I see. Yeah, Faz thought the idea of rook takes e3 long ago. Yeah. Cheadle Open. Arav, you'll find out probably after this weekend when I have time to edit this recap video. I mean, maybe if I get lucky, I can edit it tonight before I sleep and just get it up on the channel. It's very possible. It shouldn't take too long. And after f3, you have rook takes e2. Oh, I'm very glad someone is pushing themselves to calculate even further. So that's really fantastic. Yeah, f3, rook takes e2. If knight e2, then we've got knight e3. If rook e2, queen e2. What is the point? I didn't see the point, actually. Maybe the point is just play rook e8. And the queen moves somewhere. Like queen d3, and at the very least you've got knight e3 to fork for king and rook. But at the end of that line, I don't think we're up material. We're just like up a pawn or something. So that can't be it. Pawn f3 here. Rook e2, queen e2. Rook e8, queen d3. Maybe rook e3 is even more annoying for white to deal with. Maybe rook e3 is more annoying. That's going to be my answer, rook e3. Let's see if it's correct. If f3 here, rook takes e2, queen e2, rook e8, queen d3. Let's see if rook e3 is correct. Damn it, knight e3 was correct, which was my first answer. Rook e3 is still strong though. I don't know, I saw like, you know, the queen can't move while keeping tension on the rook, so I thought maybe this improves the position, but knight e3 is actually correct. If king g1, queen h3, so the attack continues this way. If knight takes f1, I was correct that the material is even, except for a pawn. But apparently black's just completely winning. I mean, that's quite hard to assess. Did Axel Smith mention f3? Classic Axel Smith. Knight f4 though is an interesting try. What is this? What is rook d8? Rook d8 is so strange. I guess like they can't take the rook, can't take the knight, so fair enough. Knight f2. God. King f2 is met by rook d4, queen d4, bishop b6, okay. Yeah, too much pressure on the white king. Jan says, I lost to the 21-20 from my club again. Damn. His chess is so bad, I always have a winning position, get down to no time and choke it. Right. I would then say that, yeah, is his chess really bad, or is it just certain aspects of his chess bad, you know? Like, maybe his overall chess, I mean, you know, 2100 is gotta respect that. He literally doesn't do anything, just keeps refusing my draws in a worse position and I flag. Is it not increment? Is it no increment chess? Yeah, rookie 8 from Wet Adventure. Okay, let's move to the next one. I think this was fine. Knight fg4, king g1, knight e3, fe3 is less convincing. As here, the knight would be better on f6 to control over e4 and have even more pressure on e3, right? I think that's what Faz said, actually. Okay, let's continue with this Khalifman. About halfway through our training. Got queen, rook, bishop, bishop, knight against queen, rook, bishop, bishop, knight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh wait, no. I was trying to make some like knight f6 work somehow. Feels like it probably is, or knight e7 even. I don't know. It's just so jumbly. Okay, let's be a bit more thorough. So their king is kind of exposed, especially due to his knight on d5. That's threatening some checks. So the tension on e7, tension on the f6 square, tension on d6. X-rays towards the queen, towards e7. Maybe a bishop to this pawn. Knight is a little exposed. So okay, loose pieces. No loose piece except the queen. So checks, captures, threats. Got knight e7, knight f6. Got bishop takes d6. Threats. Maybe got e4. Maybe bishop b6 is a threat. g4. Fine. So, okay, let's start with our checks. Knight e7. If the knight takes, well then we just take on d6 and happy days. Probably take with the rook. So knight e7, queen takes is forced. This is where, after knight e7, queen takes, I wonder if like some e4 move, but the thing is we've sacked a piece already, so it's not as hopeful. Knight e7, queen e7. e4. Probably bishop takes c5 is just fine. So okay, let's try knight f6. Knight f6, pawn takes f6. Let's just presume. Of course, they don't have to. Knight f6, ef6. Now the bishop's pinned, so maybe there is time for a move like e4. But then again, we've got to be careful, right? Because knight f6, pawn takes f6, we're down a piece, e4. They might have a move like knight takes g3. Hitting our queen. If we take back, then they take on c5 with check. And once we deal with that, what's going on there? I mean, their queen is being attacked. Maybe they can block with the bishop, bishop d6. And what on earth is the material count at that point? I think black is a piece up. I was looking at knight f6, pawn f6. e4, knight takes g3, pawn takes g3. So we've given up a knight, they've given up a knight for a pawn, so they're a pawn up. They may take our bishop as well. Again, it's so difficult to calculate. So, hold on a second. After knight f6, pawn takes, knight takes... Sorry. Knight f6, pawn takes, e4, knight takes g3. Pawn takes... Bishop takes check. We can just take back. I don't know why I didn't consider that earlier. So then white is just fine. I guess this discovery doesn't do too much, right? Because the queen is just defending it. So maybe this whole line is fine. It's knight f6, pawn takes, and e4. I've sacked a piece. I'm so bad at counting. It's so strange. Like every thought of pessimism just brings me back to like wanting to play in a comfortable way. It's like two of my C3 Venom games, like one of them was 97% accuracy, one of them was 99% accuracy. But it's just like, if the opponent wants to, it is very hard to push for a win. And I need to win more, is what I'm concluding. I'm suddenly considering e4. Suddenly looks good. Yeah, wait, because if e4 and the knight just moves, then we just take on e7 with check. If the bishop takes, we take the queen. Should be good enough. If the queen takes, then we just take with the bishop and skewer. So e4, I guess they can throw in something. Don't really want to take on c5 because then I've got knight f6, pawn takes, and then I take the queen. I've given up a lot of material, but I am picking up the knight back. Probably. There might be some in-between move on knight takes g3 there, given this is pinned. I don't know, guys. I don't know. And this is the problem. This is the problem of trying to, like, you know, excite yourself. It's like, what if you just don't have the mental energy to do so? It's like, you just got to. But it's like, what if you can't? What if you can't? It's just crazy. Just crazy. E4 somehow feels good. It really feels good. Honestly, it feels better than the other tries I've looked at so far. So it also temporarily solidifies the knight on d5, which is also quite nice. And the bishop on d6 is pinned due to that discovery. So e4 just looks like it tickles in a good way. I feel like knight e7 and knight f6, both times when I calculated it really wasn't convincing. I guess, yeah, and e4, there's no knight takes g3, pawn g3, bishop c5. We just take back pawn c5. And our knight on d5 is secure. I think e4 is actually it. Feels really good. e4, if bishop takes d5, rook takes d5. But then again, okay, if e4, bishop takes d5, rook takes d5, e6. Bishop takes d6, pawn takes d5, bishop takes f8. If queen takes f8, pawn takes f5. And what, we have equal material at the end there? Bishop takes g2, king g2 at the end, and I don't know, it's just... Did I misplay that? I don't even know how I started that line. It's just like, it's just such a cursed combination of bad memory. It's like, bad memory and like, just insane willpower is just such a terrible mix. God, such a polarized mix. But we're gonna do our best in Fonciel. We're gonna actually sleep 8 hours. Actually, are we? It depends whether I edit this video. I don't know, man. I literally don't know. e4. It's such a weak answer to just say e4 feels right. Especially when our feelings are so bad. But it's correct. So then now actually everything works. Knight e7, queen takes, bishop takes, and knight e7, bishop takes, rook takes, queen. But I don't think knight g7 was... Surely, like, black could be more tricky. Bishop c5, ef5 wins a piece. Was I certain of that? I mean, both pieces are hanging, so it kind of does look good. What if, like, bishop takes d5? Then I can go pawn takes c5. Maybe I went wrong there. But no, maybe I don't know. I don't know, what was I looking at after bishop c5? e4. I was also scared of bishop takes d5, and I just thought rook takes. Yeah, rook takes is best. Okay, fine. I don't know, guys. Just tough work. It's tough work. What are people saying? Fat says e4 instinct. Wet Adventure also says e4. I'm just gonna call you Wet. Wet says e4. Knight e7 seems good. Nice. If the knight moves, then e5. Interesting. So yeah. Faz was also... Let's see if Faz's move, actually, after knight g7. Okay, e5 is also good, but knight e7 is just stronger. Yeah. Nice. Welcome, Geographical Term. How's it going? Yeah, that's pretty good logic. If knight f6 and knight e7 don't work, it's got to be e4. I guess I was just doubting whether I was calculating that cleanly, but probably shouldn't. If it feels right, then it does. Yeah, but what if your feelings are wrong, right? What if you're bad at picking up on red flags? Just go for it. Training game blitz out of the blue from Travis Miller. I don't really play viewers on these streams. I'm trying to just train my calculation. But I did mention at the start that I was considering some training games at some point to train my calculation. But I'll probably look to sort that out privately and then go on stream with it, as opposed to like doing it live on stream, if that makes any sense. Let's do another variation. Okay, Khalifman against Kostin. 23 minutes of torture to go. Queen, 2 rooks, bishop, and 6 pawns against queen, 2 rooks, bishop, knight, and 4 pawns. So they've got a knight and a pawn for 3 pawns. That's some weird math I just did there. Just knight for 2 pawns. Don't know why I added the extra pawns. Anyway. So they've got material lead. We've got pressure on e4, a lot of pressure on e4, pressure on g1. They've got this x-ray to our king, x-ray to the rook, x-ray this way as well. F2 feels like it's strong. I know I'm kind of jumping the gun a bit, but if bishop takes, the idea is queen takes, and they can't take, but maybe they can take here. And this is why we don't tunnel vision. So unless this line after rook takes, we can take him and play this, but I don't think it's enough. They can even sack, which is not even necessary, but they've got equal material there. Knight rook versus rook bishop. Do we have an extra pawn? Maybe we have an extra pawn in that endgame. Could be that. I mean, f2 is a big candidate, right? So anyway, let's keep going. So loose pieces, loose queen, only defended by the queen. So maybe ideas of like b5, for instance, pop up. Okay, what checks captures threat? So queen d2, queen c1. Capture, we can capture on e4, we can capture on g1. Threats, there's f2, maybe bishop h5. b5, as I mentioned. b5 is probably terrible. Okay, so let's start with the checks. Queen d2, queen c1 just don't work. Those are the only checks. What about captures? If rook takes g1, rook takes g1. f2. If rook f1, maybe bishop h5. Yeah, I don't think it's convincing. Bishop takes e4 is kind of interesting. Bishop e4, if rook e4, maybe rook e1. Because if they try and block with the rook, then we can just take everything, because this pin is like still on. So bishop e4 might be strong. What checks do they have? Doesn't look that impressive. Bishop e4. Wait, but what if bishop e4, knight e4? Why didn't I consider this? Knight d6 is also a big threat. So yeah, that just doesn't look good at all. Because yeah, bishop takes, knight takes. What do I even play? So what other captures? I could take this pawn. Seems kind of tame, but maybe it's good. I mean, why not, right? Like, we add extra pressure on this bishop. Because the bishop can move. Like, the rook is guarded by the queen. So the move has to be better than bishop, queen takes g5. Otherwise, then we just play queen takes g5 if we don't see anything else. Let's look at our threats. So what about, did I see all the captures actually? Pretty sure I did. Rook takes is possible, but just knight takes again? Looks fine. So okay, f2. If they take with the rook, then I just go rook takes g1. They can't block without losing the rook. And if king c2, it's not clear. But I mean, we did already win a piece, so maybe that's just fine. So f2, I think they have to take with the bishop. Can we just ignore it? No, we're threatening to promote even. And bishop h2 would just allow rook takes h2. So f2 rook takes, sorry, f2 bishop takes is forced. So queen takes f2 is one option. Rook takes rook, I guess, is another. Maybe queen f3 check, queen g4 check, bishop h5 check. All potential candidates. I feel like it is this, but what's the line? f2 bishop takes? Bishop takes. f2 bishop takes. If queen takes f2, rook takes h1, I really don't believe in this queen e5, rook d8. Even just queen takes d8, king takes d8. And we've got this extra pawn. Maybe that's enough. Maybe that's enough. f2 bishop takes. I think is that better or worse than just taking on g5 immediately? I mean, take on g5 like we have a threat. How do we deal with that? I don't even remember what I said the refutation was to queen takes g5. Like, why is it not just winning? I guess they just moved the bishop somewhere. Like queen g5, bishop f2 or something. It still looks good. f2, bishop takes f2. Surely that's better than this queen f2 line. I wonder if we can throw in like a little check first, like bishop h5. Like, does that change something? Bishop h5, king c2. Then after king c2, you don't even have queen takes f2 because just simply rook takes f2. You're not in a pin anymore. So you've got to be careful with this like little check that you throw in. f2 bishop takes. I guess it's got to be that line that we said, like queen takes f2, rook takes a1. Oh, after rook takes f1, there's queen f3. And however they block or move, and we pick up the rook on a1. And then still materials equal, we're up a pawn, but okay, we've got two ways to be up a pawn. So this looks much more promising, right? So the line I was saying was queen takes, and if rook takes, then we just go drop back queen f3. So that's one option. We keep the queens on, which feels like it's a good decision. If we go queen takes, rook takes, and just trade everything with this queen takes, rook d8. Oh shit, that might even be knight d5 here. Maybe that doesn't even win. That's not good. So maybe it is this like little shimmy with the queen. Just back to f3. Does feel quite unclear. Queen c2. Queen takes rook. I think it's good, you know. Maybe knight b5 there. Wait, what's the line? Queen f2, rook a1, queen f3, king c2, queen takes a1, knight b5. To be fair, I could throw in queen a7 maybe to cover the d6 square, but the queen's not the best defender, right? Queen a2 maybe versus rook d2. So I don't really want to throw in that check then. Queen f2, rook a1, queen f3, king c2, queen takes a1, knight b5. Is there actually that big of a deal? Like, there's the threat of knight d6, but does it actually matter? Maybe I just go queen, after knight b5, I just go queen g2. Because if they were to block, then I could go bishop takes e4, but they don't have to block, they could run. I don't know. It does look promising, at least. So if there's nothing else, then we go for that. Queen g4 check? Don't know, it doesn't make sense to me. But again, just calculate queen g4, king e1. Is there any follow-up there? No. I think queen f2 is right. So much effort to look at lines. It's so much effort. Yeah, no, I think queen f2 is correct. I think queen f2 is correct. We can be here all day. I mean, just a little shimmy of queen f3. Nice. So this is what I was saying. And now, is there any like more finesse, like queen g2 or something? Bishop takes e4 still doesn't work? I guess we just take the rook. Like, this king can't be like worse on like, I don't know, b3 or something. So we just take the rook. Black has a healthy pawn extra and 1 after 41 moves. Well, what about knight b5, Axel Smith? If it's an only move for black, I'll be pissed. It's not an only move. Okay, there are 2 moves. King b8 is actually pretty baller to just sidestep any knight d6. Annoying that I didn't see that actually. What did I like though? Didn't I like? I liked something here. I like taking this pawn or something somehow, but what was the line that I suggested doing it? It's not this one, is it? I hope it's not this one because bishop takes, rook takes. Oh, there's no queen takes because queen takes comes with check. So why is actually taking on d5 not working? I guess they can stop partway through, right? Like bishop takes, rook takes, and on rook takes, then throw in knight takes. And if you go bishop takes, rook takes, and then queen takes, then they can go queen takes, rook takes, knight d6. So maybe you just can't take this pawn. The king b8 is pretty smooth, just to get out of trouble. Knight d6, rook d8, yeah, still a bit messy. Fine. So what are people saying? Okay, loads of people went in quick with f2. You can train your calculation with a bullet, that's what I did. That is some shocking advice. My god. F2. Bishop takes f2, queen takes f2, rook takes h1, queen f3. So fast. Very nice. Very, very nice. Bob beat me to typing it. Yeah, typing speed is also a part of aura farming on this channel, I guess. Why does Mike always go through candidates so rigidly? Why even think about queen d2, queen c1? So, the origin of this is because I could not trust myself to spot all the checks in a position just by feeling the position. I need to actually consciously ask myself to find the checks. Now, in fairness, maybe, subconsciously I could just dismiss queen d2, queen c1. But I guess because I'm explaining the thought process and I'm saying it out loud, probably in my head I would get that done much faster, right? But in terms of actually spotting all the checks, I need to spot queen d2, queen c1, and I need to make a habit of looking at all the checks because, otherwise in a position where, let's say, imagine if these pieces were cleared and then queen h7 was a check, if I'm not actively looking for my checks and all of the checks and just even choosing the simple checks and obvious checks, then I can miss much harder checks. I don't know how to explain it better than that. Yeah, I think Faz puts it quite nicely for me. The aura in Bob's reply, I'm FMBO. Damn Arav. Get buried. Yeah, okay, so lots of debate about that little debate, but I put my stance on the subject. That's so funny that Bob says it's not possible to stop everything just to look for tactics, but the Turkish school of chess trains that. Their kids run through legal moves like a bullet. It's insane. They see so much in the position, and it's not the only way to play chess. I mean, you've got players like Michael Adams who consistently see less than their weaker opponents, but still win. So, you know, you gotta kind of like find what's right for you. But I know that calculating more would solve a lot of my problems right now. And I just need to see more, look deeper, and try and cut those buzzwords. This is actually a really good piece of advice from my friend Owen, who I've hung out with a fair amount these last few days for the tournament. But he basically said that like weak players use these words like it looks scary or something, right? Like, sure, you can have intuition that makes you feel that way, but you shouldn't then associate like these kind of emotional terminology with lines. Just be concrete. Like, does the line work? Is there something that works or is there not? Not to actually just be like, you know, yeah, I don't know, looks scary. Like that's a weak mindset. Like you gotta like push through and actually just see the moves and just be like, is that like good or is it bad? Like not use this like unclear like cop out basically. I only see one move, the best move. I mean, that's pretty cold from Reti, but unfortunately, it ain't like that for a lot of people. Yeah, for me, actually, time management isn't really an issue. Like, I feel like I'm pretty good with the clock. So I think I just need to get into the habit of this kind of solving. Okay, go 4 minutes 50. Let's try and do one more. Okay, immediately I just see like queen and bishop like lined up here. So immediately it then makes you want to calculate knight e6. But then I can take and defend g7. So yeah, it doesn't jump out to me, right? So okay, let's do a quick material count. Also, you got to remember in a real game, like a lot of like the evaluation you wouldn't have to do because you understand the material, you understand the king safety, you understand the pawn structure. So it is faster in a real game, right? But okay, queen rook rook, bishop bishop knight, queen rook rook, bishop knight knight. We got bishop pair. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Ooh, I just saw queen g7 look spicy as well, but okay. Pressure. So we've got x-ray pressure here, we've got normal pressure here. Knight can potentially jump, pressure on e4. Fine. This knight is pressuring b3. Black's pieces are quite passive in comparison. Bishop is defending. Any more x-rays? X-ray on the king. X-ray through here. X-ray through all the way here, but unlikely. And just pressure. X-ray to this. Fine. Loose pieces. Loose knight on e7. That could be relevant. Loose bishop on b2. Fine. So in this position, checks, captures, threats. So queen takes g7 is a check. Queen e6 is a check. I think that's all the checks. Okay, captures. Got knight c6. Queen g7, which we already said. Bishop e4, queen e4. Queen takes c8. Threats. What threats do we have? Knight c6 is interesting actually because it kind of hits the knight, but I don't know. Threats, it feels too slow, right? Because the queen is under pressure. So maybe one threat will come out, but for now, let's look at our moves. So queen takes g7, king g7. We've got a big discovery, but it's not enough. It's only knight and bishop, and it's not a good way to configure them. Like knight f5. Knight f5. There could be knight takes d6 if king f7, right? So queen g7, king g7, knight f5. If king g6 is knight e7, hold up. The hell is that? King g8 is also knight e7. So queen g7, king g7. We've won a pawn for a queen. Knight f5, double check. If king f7, then knight takes d6. We win another pawn. And then let's say they move the king. No, we can't move there. Let's say move to e6. Take the queen and they take back. So we've lost the queen and knight, but we've won a queen and 2 pawns. That's not really enough. Queen g7, king g7, knight e6. Sorry. Queen g7, king g7, knight f5. King f7, knight d6. King e6. Knight c8 is best move. Rook c8. And that position should just be good for black. So okay, fine. If queen g7, king g7, and what about knight e6? Discovered check. But that's just an awkward knight. You know, let's just go king f7 or something. It's fine. So okay, queen g7 was somewhat promising if we get really stuck. But for now, let's keep going. So what about change the move order? Let's start with knight f5. So knight f5, we do this discovery. What candidates can he play to stop checkmate? Maybe rook f7, there's knight h6. If knight takes f5, that's a pretty good one. Defending g7. Actually, a quick question for Faz, since we're both playing Foncl tomorrow. How predictable is the board order of our opponents? Like, is it actually worth prepping without giving up too much information? Because I know that there are other people in the Foncl teams, even in our division, who could potentially be reading chat. But like, yeah, without giving up like information about our board order and team list, how reliable is our opponent's board orders? Like, is there actually decent chances to prep? So okay, knight f5, just knight takes f5. Knight e6 is also promising because of this queen g7. Again, there's potentially knight f5, but this time at least we win a rook. So hold up, knight e6 is forced. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's a follow-up there. That's kind of wild that queen g7, knight f5 is like looking good. d6, king e6. Let's see it. I didn't really find a way to exploit this. I also forgot to check queen e6. That was another check. But I mean, that just loses the queen. Are there any other captures? Knight c6. Maybe just pawn takes. Oh fuck, and then there's checkmate. So knight c6. If queen takes, then I can take on e7 and then take back. So is it just knight c6 after all that? Which is why I need to be faster with looking at my candidate moves. Like, I tunnel vision for too long. Am I still like recycling this queen g7 idea without considering all my moves? Maybe knight c6, maybe knight f5. But then I can go knight e7 and they can't take because of mate. So maybe knight c6 is just fantastic. Knight c6, what about rook f7? I guess I won a pawn. Is it really enough? In the starting position, it was equal material, right? But I mean, There's stuff like hanging, so... Knight c6, rook f7 is really annoying. Knight c6, rook f7. I guess I could always play like knight e7, rook e7, queen c8, rook c8, and then just go c5 or something to not lose the b pawn. Yeah. I mean, knight c6 definitely looks the best. I mean, I couldn't make queen g7 work. King g7, knight f5, king f7 is just too good. Yeah. Rather a pawn up than be a piece for 2 pawns down. So I think let's go for it. I mean, there were no threats in this position that we could see. Nothing has appeared since then. But any other captures that look promising, like bishop e4? Not really. I think knight c6. Oh, and of course they just blunder a piece. Oh, maybe they're not blundering a piece. Actually, king f7, I didn't see this move, so I should have gone further. Knight e7, king f7. Okay, if I take the queen, take my knight. But then I take on g7, and this looks fantastic. Yeah, this looks great. What did I say the move was? Take the queen. And then take on g7. Yeah. So many extra pawns, why is winning. Fine. Queen g7 doesn't work because I thought king f7. King f7, knight d6, king e6. Leaves black a piece up? Oh yeah, this is what I was saying. Oh, that was actually a checkmate? Oh, I didn't even see that this was mate, that's funny. I just saw knight e7. I missed knight h6's mate. That's actually a nice, helpful comment from Axel Smith for once. But yeah, no, cool that we got there. And rook f7? White is one an important pawn. Okay, fine. I bet rook f7 is the best move after knight c6. Okay, what are people saying? Nah, I do not give 10 out of 10 rage bait to the bullet is good calculation. Kind of felt it was a troll. Maybe I didn't show it enough. Yeah, king f7 is fine for black. Yeah. People roasting the queen takes g7. Knight c6 another idea. There we go. Knight 6 coming in. Arif quit chess? When did that happen? God. Well, I guess that's all of our training for today. So we actually did a proper sesh. I feel like there was less complaints in general, and basically I'm just more keen to calculate more. And tomorrow and the day after is going to be a really good test of, am I able to follow through and put a proper calculation shift in? Yeah, that's going to be very interesting to find out. So, 2 big games against 2,100 players. Did Faz reply about the board order? Yes, he says, I think they're fairly predictable last time I checked, especially from one of the teams. Okay, cool. Wouldn't put all my eggs in one basket. Fair. Okay, I'll do some prep work tomorrow. So, thank you for the best luck wishes, and yeah, stay tuned for an episode on Chess Lifestyle. We will see if I get some time to edit this. Maybe I can be very rapid with it. Okay, see you around, guys.